Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at the top 5 bushcraft knives under $100. The top 5 bushcraft knives under $100. I apologize if the tripod is moving around or the camera moving around, whatever you want to say. My dog Gunner is in the room and he likes to play with it sometimes. So I'm going to go by an order of price, least expensive to most. We're going to start off with the Mora Companion. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this guy. This is probably like the quintessential bushcrafting fixed blade. Like if you had one knife and one knife only, pick the Mora. It's going to do a majority of the stuff you need to do. It's literally the master or jack of all trades, master of most. It does most things well. Sandvik 12C 27N, I believe. This one is stainless. You can see on there, this one has been beat to hell and back. I've done all types of crazy nonsense with this thing and it keeps on trucking. I don't have a tip anymore. There's burn marks on. I dropped this thing inside the exhaust pipe of a diesel generator. Don't ask how, long story. Great knife though, fixed blade, rat tail tang comes into this thing. You're not gonna break it out of there. I don't care what you do, unless you like melt the handle off it, I guess you could. Polymer sheath clips on your belt with good drainage hole. Maiden speed, and, great knife. Not gonna spend a whole lot of time, like I said. I do have a full review and a full torture test on this guy, so go check it out. Pretty cool videos. Let's hop into knife number. Say hello. Say hi, Gunner. Say hi. You good, being a good boy? Yeah, that's the mascot of the channel right there, guys, in case you didn't. I reviewed this one about halfway through the year in 2024. It surprised the hell out of me. I didn't think it was going to be that good. This is the Flissa D2 fixed blade. That's literally what it's called on Amazon. There's 3 different models. You've got, they're all D2, but you have wood handle, G10, and micarta. I opted for the micarta just because I like micarta. You have a fake leather sheath. It's good though because it is somewhat water repellent. So you do have a itty bitty drainage hole. Does the job. A decent belt loop. Has not come undone. I mean, this is probably a better sheath than Benchmade makes on most of their knives. Wow. What a dig at Benchmade. I didn't know he could do that. They're probably going to sue me after this. But anyways, beautiful blade. I believe it's a little over 4 inches. It might be closer to 4.5 of cutting edge. You do have the tiniest little sharpening ricasso. Scandi grind of all things. It's kind of like a Becker BK2 knockoff. You do have a couple of different lashing options to get that piece of paracord or whatever, so you can beat the heck out of this thing. 90-degree spine, a very sharp 90-degree spine. But there's no jimping, but even if you rest your thumb right on the edge of that 90, it's not going to cut into you. I've used this thing kind of as a pry tool as well. I opened a couple of paint cans with it back when I was repainting my old house. But yeah, the edge on there is fantastic. Again, I did a torture test of this in the review. Held up fairly well. A little bit of chippiness, which, you know, to be expected. $30. I'm not really going to complain. And the micarta is fading, which isn't bad. I kind of liked, I dig the look of having that thing. I brought this thing out to the Mojave, is what it was, and I did carry this on my belt. So the Mojave Desert, as in the Mojave Desert, and I had it like that. So I'm guessing either it was rubbing against the sheath or it got sun bleached. So either way, great little knife. $30. I mean, the basic one's like 15. I've seen them go as low as $15, $17 on sale. Not a bad deal. It's right up there with the Mora. Doesn't hold up as great as the Mora when it comes to like you're gonna beat the absolute snot out of the thing, but overall not a bad knife. I would recommend this one. It's not a premium thing. If it's between this and the Mora, go with the Mora. But yeah, big fan of this. Let's move on to knife. It's gonna come in right around $45. It is from BPS. I'll go over the sheath here in a second, but this is the BPS Knives Savage. This was probably one of my favorite knives that I reviewed in 2023. It was at the very end of 2023. 1066 high carbon steel. I've got kind of like a vinegar patina going on there and a lot of rust because I haven't used this thing in quite a while. I need to touch it up a little bit, but not a bad knife. Full flat grind. Again, just a hair over 4 inches cutting length. You've got this beautiful handle, kind of downward swoop. I'm trying to think of the name of the style of this handle. It's failing to present itself to me at this time, so if you know the style of this handle where it droops downward, please go for it. You've got a drop point style blade. Beautiful. Gunner saying hello. You do have full tang construction, 90-degree spine, I believe. I think I checked that on here. I don't have a fire steel handy, but if I did, I'd try that. These handles are, I believe, walnut. I just put some Renaissance wax, which for those of you who don't know, I've got it right next to my gun cleaning stuff. It's like this stuff used to waterproof. I think the British Museum likes to use it. It's made in England. It's good stuff. I did that to waterproof the handle. Linseed oil works as well. Handle scales were loose when I got it. I do remember that. You do have like these Allen key screws, Allen head screws, whatever you want to call them in there. Not a bad little blade, very light, like 1/8 of an inch thick. Great for food prep. I'd say if you want to have a designated camp cook knife, this is probably going to be the way to go. 45 bucks. I did have to reprofile the edge a little bit. I don't know. When I got it, it does dole out pretty quick. I think it's like Rockwell between like 55 and 58, somewhere in there. Not the worst thing in the world for 45 bucks. You're not going to touch anything American made like this. And you might get something made out of like Chinesium steel or Taiwanese steel, which is, if you're into that, good for it. Go for it. It's not what I wanted, so I decided to go for the Ukrainian stuff. I know some people have some issues with them, but we won't get into that. The sheath though, where did you go? All over the place today, I apologize. I wanted to do this outside originally, but there's 8 inches of snow and we're getting another 8 to 10 inches tonight. So I'm figuring do it inside, stay a little bit warmer, even though gunner would be a-okay out there. So sheath, I believe this is full grain, but it's a leather sheath, beautiful stitching, no drainage hole. BPS, you need to do better on that. You could probably just drill one out of there with a hand drill. Nice leather loop here for your belt, and a dangler. If you don't want to run the dangler, just run it like this, and it's you can just run it. It's not an issue. Tension on this guy, quite a bit. You can throw on this thing pretty good, and it's not going to go anywhere. And that's without wet forming it. It is kind of stiff, so if you're going to use this as a self-defense tactical blade, you might want to wet form it a little bit or do something to get that thing a little bit looser. I don't care. This is going to be more of a camp knife, belt knife when I'm hiking. So I'd rather have more retention than none. Unless I'm like fighting off a bear or something, then I might regret that. Either way, it's a good thing. Gunner, what does that smell? Yes, I know. Say hello. You already said hello to the camera. You're all wet from the snow, buddy. Anyways, let's move on to knife number 4. This is the Brissa. I forget the model name on this. I believe this is the Brissa Enzo Hiker 95. I could be mistaken about that. We'll go over the sheath in a second. This is essentially a copy of a Mora, not quite, a little bit different. Same relative footprint. I will show you in comparison. I am all over the place, guys. I apologize. Trying to find my Mora, find this, find that. So, Mora on top, the Brissa Enzo Hiker 95 on bottom. As you can see, the blade dimensions are relatively similar. The Brissa has a shorter blade, but a fatter blade, like wider from top to bottom. Scandi grind, this one does have a swedge up top. Neither one are 90-degree spines. This one might have a little bit of 90. I've never been able to throw sparks very well with either. Okay, now that that's out of the way, Sandvik 12C27. Again, not a bad steel. It does the job. This one has not rusted at all. I haven't, not that I can see at least, I haven't had to do any touch-up work. The edge on this is pretty good. Relatively soft on the Rockwell. Again, I believe around the 56 to 58 area. The swedge is cool. Makes it a little bit more, good for piercing if you want to use it for a defensive tool. That tip is real fine. So I'd be afraid of breaking that off and rolling. I do have, I did carry this for a while, as you can see, when I wanted to be a try-hard with a fixed blade. I've got my Benchmade here because their own sheaths aren't worth a darn. That's 2 digs at Benchmade in one video. Can we go for 3? Anyways, I've got a homemade leather sheath. A good buddy of mine, I believe it's just over 3.5, might be 3 1/4 inches of cutting edge. Beautiful polymer handle. You have got like these fish scales, give you a little bit more texture than the Mora. There's no finger guard, none necessary really. It's nice and grippy, especially even when it's wet. Rest my thumb up there. No jumping, no hot spots really. That swedging, if you can rest your thumb just a little bit farther up on the rear of the blade there, you're not going to have any issues. It's somewhat rounded. You come down here, like I said, fish scales, and you do have a lanyard loop, a rather large one, so you can put paracord or tarred bank line. I stick with paracord. Tarred bank line's a little bit narrow for my personal taste, but yeah, this guy comes in between the $50 and $60 mark last time I checked. I think I paid Gunner, no, I paid around 60 with shipping for this off Amazon. I don't know what they're going for now, but I hope it's under 100. Otherwise, you guys can call me, call BS on it. But yeah, good knife. It essentially does the same stuff as a Mora. Again, if it was between this and a Mora, I would choose the Mora. But this is kind of cool if you have a couple Moras lying around and you want something different. Let's move on to knife and offering. The only American offering on this list. I was tempted to include the Gerber Strong Arm. I am not the greatest fan of that for bushcraft. If it was like, say, I know a good buddy of mine carried one when we were deployed. That's like your knife you're going to carry on your kit when you're overseas and you get into a survival situation. It'll do the job. It's not my favorite. I think there are better choices. I just went over 4 of them. My opinion, your mileage may vary. So this is a highly customized Buck 119. This is like $300. So forget that this is the customized Buck 19 and envision it's the regular standard Buck 119 with the clip point blade, beautiful swedging up there, 420 high carbon with the Nepholic handle scale, or handles, yeah. Rat tail tang, not the greatest bushcraft and survival knife. It's kind of a do-it-all though. Great hunting knife. I know guys who use this to skin game. A lot of people like this in the 120 to go after like deer and whatnot, to skin it and gut it. Great little knife though, wide handle. Hasn't really kept up with 21st century ergonomics, but it's like good at what it does. It doesn't do anything great, but it's good enough. It's what your grandpappy used, and it's been a standard in the US for probably, I think, closer more than 60 years now. I forget exactly when these were designed. I think 62, so probably 63 years now. Now, the sheath, again, this is a customized sheath, but the standard one is leather, made in Mexico. The knives are made in the US. You do have a beautiful drainage hole. This one's left-handed because I was born wrong-handed. Actually, it says this sheath was made in the United States of America. I don't know about the standard one though, because this is a custom lefty. I know the sheaths on the 110 Hunters are made in Mexico, so this one might be the same way. Let me know if you have a standard 119 and your sheath is made either in America or Mexico. I'd like to know in the comments below. But yeah, that is number 5. Great little knife. I don't believe it has a 90-degree spine. Let me check. It might be rounded off though. Feels like a 90 though. But yeah, a classic knife from like Scream and all different types of pop culture, to just being like a good general utility knife, whether it comes to hunting, cleaning fish, bushcraft camp knife. Great food prep too, by the way. I think it's I forget what grind is on this. I want to say it's some type of, it's a hollow grind. That's what it is. Yep. Most of the bucks are going to be hollow ground. So not too bad. Now, if you want to choke up on this thing, good luck. You might cut yourself, might not. The edges on these hold up pretty good. Again, around the 57, 58 on the Rockwell. No jimping. It's kind of just, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Not my first choice for like a bug out survival knife, bushcraft, but it gets the job done. Again, that one comes in around 80 to 84 bucks, depending on around 80 to 84 bucks, not the knife, but like slang for money. Yeah, they're decent. They're great. I'd rather have something made in America than made in China. Again, not my first choice, but it is probably one of the better ones of all time. Definitely has a storied legacy and has that reliability and durability aspect that's been proven through the last 63 years. Those are the top 5 bushcraft fixed blades under $100. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If I missed one of your favorites, let me know. Tell me where I'm wrong. These are the ones I've had experience with. There are full reviews on all of these knives, so if you want to find those, go search through the channel feed. A lot of these were reviewed in 2023 and 2024, so you might have to scroll a ways, but they are there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys next time.